university, I work as a Python developer with folks in web development. I have a little daughter. She's 11 years old. In my free time, I like to spend my free time in outdoor activities, because I spend many time in front of the computer, so I like to refresh my mind in other kinds of activities. I think that creative means maybe good imagination, thinking past what you see. I don't know. That's it.
Yeah, you are a developer. I think that creativity is something really important.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And what about you, Lee? Please introduce yourself. And what do you think creativity means? And are you a creative person?
Okay, my name is Leticia. I'm living in Porto Alegre, and I'm 39 years old, and I work as a software developer. And creativity, I feel, in my opinion, it's part of your background, and I think you use your background to do a creative person. And if I am a creative, I think I am so, because if you think about my life and my professional life, so many times I was a creative person. Sometimes I'm
Great.
not create a new company, but I'm a creative person.
Sometimes we try at least, but it's okay.
No, it's part of our life with creativity.
Yeah. And what about you, Lefomis? Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Leticia. I am 19 years old. I studied chemistry at college. And in my free time, I like to watching series about cooking or science or sports. And creative, I think that creative means connective things in a different way of the usual. And I don't know. I think I'm a little creative person, but not too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially in chemistry, I think that creativity is also something really important, but I think it could uh kill you if you mix some wrong ingredients. So it's not a good idea. And what about you, Wesley? Please introduce yourself.
Hello guys, my name is Wesley William. I have 29 years old. I live in Porto Alegre City, south of Brazil. I am here on TNT 3 months. It's my third month here. What else? I am senior data engineer, so I have a degree in computer science graduation and a post degree in data science and artificial intelligence. In my free time, I like to work on my side projects, like I did on this week that I just went to the bed at 4 a.m. 2 days in a consecutive way, and I like to play games on the computer as well. Recently, I just bought and I assembled a new computer, so it's like how I can say a spaceship. I don't know, like a alien technology. So that's great. And what else? Well, that's it. About the question itself, I think creative or be creative. I think is like if you see how we can explain or represent our knowledge, we can see that is like a graphs, you know. Uh, every fact or information in our universe can be represented as a point in a graph. So uh, the ability that you can just connect the dots, I think like the Leticia film said, uh, when you connect the dots, different dots, you can have a connection that would be 1 million idea, you know. So I think that's it. So be creative is connecting the dots in a flexible way. But if you have more creativity than others, I think your skill that you can connect the dots is better, because just you will see the things in a point of view more expanded, or you will think out of the box, you know, because usually the people just connect the dots in a, in a I don't know, in daily basis, we just base it on the things that we do every day, or the things that you see every day. So the people that have more skill on this, that are more creative, they just they have the ability to connect things like usually the normal people don't do it, you know. So I think that's it. Just connect the dots in summarizing my answer. That's it.
And do you know connect the dots?
Yeah, I connect a lot of dots.
Great. Yeah. And guys, so we have 4 people who work in computer area, and Lefumis, who is studying chemistry. And I really think that in your area it's really important. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think about creative in your area? Is it important? Do you think that people are not that creative? They use the usual tools, and they don't know how to connect different tools to achieve something. What do you think, Lee?
In my area, for example, I work as a back-end software developer. Sometimes I remember I listen a lot. The back-end, it's not a creativity person, because I didn't work in the front end, and the clients in general don't see what I do, for example. But if you think now about the general app, you click one button, and there do many things. For example, buy a pizza, uh, pay, get money of your wallet, and pay the other guys, and transfer tax to other things. There is a lot of many systems behind them, and you use your creativity to do this, because you need to connect many informations with many things, and the many kinds of this information. And sometimes there is, for example, a lot of problems about the how can I explain, the performance, and you need to use your creativity to understand how the big pictures, to needs to see the specific focus in specific parts of the system. And the nowadays, if you compare 5 years ago and 10 years ago, the technology, it's so more creativity now. And person work this is true.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that it's really complicated what you said at the beginning, that because you work at the back end, people think that it's not possible be creative, or it's not an important skill for you. Bullshit. Uh, and what about you, Elton? What do you think?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that creative help us to write a better context with our code, and maybe help us to think to step ahead and structure better all the points or dots in your infrastructure, think what you can use it to have a scalable application, what can happens in the future if we don't think implement some kind of features or something like that. So I think that creativity is a thing that we can train to be better on it and aprimorate our skills or area. So that's it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that uh, it's something that will start not that good, and then we develop a lot while we are coding. And what about you, Lefumis? What do you think about?
In my area, I think creativity is very important because in science we have old problems to resolve, and I think we need to be creative to use the new tools we have nowadays to try to find a solution for these things. And science is changing so fast. We are discovering new things, new materials, new ways to making materials, and it's necessary being creative to accompany this. It's the role of the science is changing things to better, and I think creativity is connected to this.
Yeah, a few years ago, I finished my master's degree, and I had to read many articles, and it was really hard because we cannot read so many old articles, but we need the old articles because they are the basic. So you have to learn the basic and new things. It's really important. It's really nice. And you, Wesley.
It's the question number 2 or a custom question?
A customer
Can you repeat?
about your workplace. Do you think that are people in general creative or not? Do you think that it's important?
Yeah, I think it's important. As I think Elton said something like that. We need to have the creativity because we need to see every day we have problems to solve, right? So we see some problem and we start to think how to solve this problem using our knowledge in infrastructure, coding. So there's a lot of paths that we can solve the problem, you know. So there isn't a unique path. As you improve in your career, you understand and you learn about all the technologies. you can see more paths to solve the problems, you know. So usually you use your expertise to find the short path to solve the problem, or the more cheap problem, cheap solution, you know, that isn't expensive. I don't know. There's a lot of requests how to solve the problem that we need to see as well, and we just go there and solve the problem. And as Leticia said about the being backend developer, I think there is a lot of types of creativity, you know. So you can be creative in a visual way, like a front-end developer, you know, they can see visual things, interactions. And the backend developer will have another type of creativity, because you need to see, as I said before, you use your knowledge, and you will see different way to how to solve the problem, you know. You have a business role that you can solve, and can be a simple thing or a complex thing, and you need to split the problem in small parts and start to solving everything, you know. So I think creativity is essential in all areas, you know. Even in some areas that have repetitive tasks to do, like I don't know, spreadsheets or something like that, that you need to every day repeat the same actions. Or in a factory, for example, your creativity can be useful to find better solutions to your task, you know. So you can improve the process and improve the time to achieving certain goal, you know. That's it.
Definitely. And okay, we are talking here about how to use the creativity in your workplace in a really specific moment of your life. But as Wesley said, sometimes we need to use creativity in a simple task, or in a simple way in your daily routine. For example, when I'm cooking, I really like to cook. So every time that I'm cooking something, I'm trying to be creative in that moment, because I have many things to do, a lot of food. So I like to try something different. And I really want to know from you, in what simple task do you use your creativity in your daily routine? Elton.
Oh, good question. Let me think. I agree with you. I think when I am cooking, I am living by myself for 1 or 2 years, and I started to cook, and I don't have a lot of how can I say that, dishes on my knowledge, something like that. And sometimes I try to create something new or something different to variate my lunch or dinner and else. And I think that's a good example for creating your simple daily routine. That's
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Sometimes we have just one egg to eat, so we have to do many things with an egg.
Yeah.
And what about Julie?
Elton said he lives by himself. I think it's when you live by yourself, you need more creativity to do anything in your life. Cook is the first thing. You open the refrigerator and don't have any food, you need to use your creativity to do this. Okay, I like the routine, but I dislike to do housework in general, okay? Sometimes I try to use my creativity how to do this more faster, how I less expend more time to do this. For example, accumulate more dishes or washing the after the time I use this. I don't know. I try to fix, okay. And I fix the cooking because I think it's the other kind to do this. And the I don't know. I think in my examples it's this, and they spend less time to do housework.
Yeah, and how to do miojo in many ways. We learned things like this. And you live for me.
So in my case, I really like cooking, but I don't like cook. I really like things about cooking, but not cooking properly. So I think my creativity, I exercise it when I think, I don't know, what can I do in the way to college to enjoy this moment, for example, on subway or train, and I try to listen different things about different topics, and I don't know, I think it's more exercising my creativity to being creative properly, but I only can think this thing.
Yeah, and you can have many dots, and you don't really necessarily connect to them. Sometimes you have many dots, and when it's necessary, you connect to them. For example, you don't uh, you don't cook usually, but when it's necessary, you cook. It's okay. And what about you, Wesley?
Sorry, what is the question?
How do you use your creativity in your daily routine?
Yeah, well, I have well-defined.
Without work.
Okay, I have a well-defined routine that I work. Sorry, I work every day on the same day, same actions, repeating the actions, except on the weekends. And on the weekends, I just throw everything to the air, so I will do nothing. But usually, when there is a how I can say, uh, there's an advantage when you do something in a repetitive way, because you can learn about the process and you can see what you are doing wrong, or what you could do better, like I started to make chimarrão every day. So uh, I improved my process to make chimarrão, So for now, my chimarrão is better. So it will, how I can say, uh, because you have a lot of things that you need to take care of when you are doing some chimarrão. So the structure of the, I don't know how to say these words, erva, the amount of water that you put on the nakuya. So if you put a lot, you will just mix everything and will be a messy. So that's a fun example that I can say, And of course, there's a lot of more serious examples, like in the work when we are coding. Usually, when we are working on solving problems, when you just throw everything on the air and start rewrite the code, improve the code, we can create a better solution. But there is a trap that if you do this every time, you will just stay, how I can say, we will be trapped on this trap, because you can improve your process indefinitely, I don't know. And uh, sometime you need to stop, so usually you can stop on the first ones, because if you see that you will be trapped improving your code, your process, it can be a problem, because you are not delivering any solutions to the market or something like that, or in your job or something. So I think it is great to see, but you need to take care about those limits. You need to don't do such a things like improving. Uh, of course, depend of the task, but you need to take care of. Don't be trapped on such a thing to trying to improve. Because my mind are always trying to improve my process, improve, and if I stop everything and focus just on only one task, I will be trapped. It's like a trap, So we need to have a balance in our lives. Like I said, two days on this week, I just go to the bed like 4 a.m. because I was working in a project. So uh, on these days, I was an exception, because I was with so much mind energy, and a lot of disposition to go there and be creative and code creative and a lot of such things. And uh, we cannot do this every day, because we will our lives will not end today or on the next week. We need to find a balance and we need to do small steps in everything, like in our career. That is my priority. So that's it. The creativity is always present in our lives, and we need to take care of the traps of the optimization. So that's it.
Great. Yeah. How people usually say, uh, feito é melhor que perfeito. So you have to learn it wisely and don't try to optimize every time the process.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, guys. So, let's add something really interesting that she tries every time to do the home task fast. How to learn how to do it faster. And of course, this is a way to be creative. So, Lei, are a creative idea something easy to achieve?
I think the creativity is a process, and you improve this process in many steps. For example, I just remember I read a book. The name it's a runway. The runway species. There is a documentary in Netflix about the names. It's similar. It's the creativity brain. And I remember when I read this book, there is a lot of references about the literature, arts, science, and the other things. And he explained about this process. Uh, he talked about many examples. People create one thing in after 100, 500 try this. And in my opinion, when you, how can I, as I said, when you do something and you improve this, you think more, and the other views about this, you create more, and you use your creativity to create more and improve this.
Yeah, definitely. It makes part of the process. And what do you think, Lefom is?
So I think that it can be easy to achieve because for me, for example, I see a difference between creative and imagination. For example, when I want to be creative, I see it's easy to do this. And when I imagination some things, aleatory things, I don't know if I can do this. But creativity for me, it's a thing so pretty, and I think that I can do this. And because of it, I think can be easy to achieve. Not only a dream or a far goal, it's a thing to do now in a short period of time.
Great. It's a little bit connected with my next question. But okay, let's continue. Elton, are your creative ideas easy to achieve?
Depends. I think that each person have your time to take your creative flow, and I believe that is a skill that you can to improve. And I think that some people's has more facility to be creative, and the others needs to maybe read a lot, practice a lot to improve that skill. I think that's my case. I like I I need to read more, to practice more, to improve that knowledge and skills. So that's it.
Great. Yeah, it takes some time. Wesley, what do you think about this?
Let me see. I agree with Elton. I think it depends. Depends of several informations and skills of the person itself. The experience about solving problems, the experience with the problem that you need to solve. It's very hard to try to solve something that you are not involved. You are not experiencing the problem itself. It's like the politicians trying to solve our problems. It don't work. So it's the better person that we will solve the problem. It's the person that are feeling the problem. Because they are exposed, they are there, and they are thinking ideas. So I think it's a combination of several skills of the person itself, as Elton said, like the the creative flow, you know. So I don't know. It depends, but in my case, I think the when you see the persons, the people that are creating something creative that it just becomes some innovation. Usually, you can see the people are with the problem. They are trying to solve something that they was experiencing, you know, and it just can be, it just will become some business. For example, you can have an idea to solve a problem that you have, and it will become a business, for example, you know. It's hard when you are trying to solve a problem that you don't know about the domain, you know. So that's it. I think it depends.
Great. Next question is something a little bit connected with what Lefumi said and what you all already talking about. Wesley basically said at the beginning that being creative is know how to connect dots. And Les said that it's necessary some background to know how to connect those dots. So do you think that, I will start with Elton. Elton, do you think that it's necessary and have a background of knowledge to be creative, or it's not necessary?
Depends as well, because some people can be background in other areas that can help them in the current area, because for example, in IT area, can be some new developer that can start with the mid-level level, because that don't have a good experience in other areas that maybe relationate to this current. Can you hear me?
No. Can you hear it? No.
It's rainy here right now. Can be the next.
Yeah, okay, but there is no. Basically, I understand what you said. Okay, you can not have a background for one area, but you can have a background in another area and use this. Yeah, it's a way to think about. And what do you think, Lefumis?
I think that have a background can be very useful, because I think that when you have knowledge or only informations about different areas and different subjectives, you can expanding your point of view of the world and understand things about other circumstances, and this can expand your ability of being creative too. I think it's can be useful, not it's necessary, but for me the ideas and I don't know, original things don't born to from nothing. They I don't know, capital ideas from another places and another subjectives. So I think can be useful.
Okay, one question for you. But create something totally new without any other ideas. Is it creative or imagination?
I think it's both, but I think it's creativity. But it's complicated for me to think about originals, 100% original things, because we are all the time seeing, receive influences from different people and different places. But I think it's creativity.
Yeah, I think here about airplane, for example. It's something new to us, but it's basically a copy of the nature. So I don't know if it's, yeah, I think it's creative. It's more creative than imagination, or it can be both. I have no idea. And what do you think, Lei? Is it necessary a background to be creative or not?
In my opinion, background is so important to improve your creativity. Creativity. If you have different backgrounds, you have more ideas and more points you to connect and more points to investigate in our mind to improve your creativity. If you think, for example, the technology, okay, if you think, read or if you think about the history about the technology, there are some technologies. It's not a only innovation by the how can I explain the sketch innovation, for example. It's you get some ideas in different points and you put together in one thing and the one device, for example, and the people create or create a new technology, but it's not a disruptive all the time. It's a continuous, it's a process continue. If you think about the people, there is a big creativity mind. People get some information in different areas, not just only the technology, just only the literature or the movies in general. And when you have more different backgrounds, in my opinion, you more creativity. You have more tools in your box to use this for creating new things. And creating new things not necessary is they start to the nothing, but improve there is in the other kinds of things or devices or anything in your life that exist.
Perfectly. I think that what you said, it's uh, really, really important for our area because we work with technology, but it's not technology to be used to technology. It's technology to use in the air, in the earth, in many places. So we have to mix many knowledges. Okay, you know how to code, but how can you code a travel airplane to, I have no idea, to Canada? So, I have no idea how to do it. So you have to learn another area of knowledge. So what you said, it's perfect. We need to have backgrounds in many different areas. And Vasley, what do you think about this?
I think I agree with everyone, and I think we almost answered this one on the previous one, like the dots, right? The idea of the dots and knowledge. The knowledge itself being a dot on a graph that is interconnected. Um, so if you have more domain in the subject, you just will have more dots in your mind, you know, and your ability to connect the dots will be improved because you have more dots to connect, you know. It's like you can see on the artificial intelligence right now. Recently, we have a boom on this field, right? And you can see that in the practice, right? Like when you have a model of artificial intelligence that have more knowledge, uh, they will perform better, you know, because they have more knowledge. So I agree. So you can perform better creativity if you have more domain knowledge. And of course, like I said before, you still can have ideas, but usually your ideas will be easily invalid, you know, because you don't know about the subject. It's like is the same thing. Like I go to some place that I don't know so much, you know, like Lowers, for example. Oh, I will go to the Lowers and I will suggest some ideas, for example. But my ideas will be limited in my just my knowledge, you know, my domain of knowledge, like technology itself. I cannot I can suggest ideas. Of course, I could suggest ideas, but it will be cannot be considered valid because can be wrong. You know, I don't have the sufficient knowledge to give valid ideas. You know. So that's it, and I agree. We need to have more dots about the subject to be useful. And if you think on the past we have some famous scientists like Newton or some key names, you know, who had a lot of individual persons. Today we don't have so many because uh, our science are so complex that you cannot have one person that will be the mental ability to connect everything. You know, we need to have groups of people that will use their mind power together to solve some problem. You know, so I think that's it. We need to have our dots in our minds, but we will need the dots of the others as well. So that's it.
Great. So guys, we don't have so much time to one more question. Okay, I will see what Lei shared with us. Okay, great. It's really connected with the last question. Really quick, guys, quickly. How to be more creative? Suggestions, ideas, book as Lei. So Lei, go on.
I share the books I read like few months ago about the creativity, and the books was written for two persons. One is a neuroscientist, and the other is a musician. And the two guys connected these different ideas in the science and the share many examples how the minds of the people created every time, every day, and every second. It's a good book because, for example, I work as a technology, and there is a lot of histories about the technology and how people use the creativity to do this.
Perfect. And Lefumis, your tip.
So I think try to understand how is the best way for us to learn new things is a good way, because if I think about this, I can organization more my thoughts and maybe can be more creative too.
Perfect. Elton.
I believe that reading is the good way because you can learn with the life experience. Can you read? Can you
Yes.
hear? Sorry.
Yes. No,
And
sorry.
when you are reading some kinds of book, you can learn about the author experience, and is a shortcut to learn something, I think.
Great. Wesley.
2 points about it. Be curious, because we will learn in the process. We will read books and something like that. And the second point is have the willpower to go and solve problems in our society with your skills. So we will progress in your career because the consequence of solve problems is your success. Success. That's it.
Great. Yeah. And mine is looking for other areas. As we said, the background is really important. So trying to learn in new areas. So guys, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I hope to see you here again next week. Okay, guys. So have a great weekend and see you all. Bye bye,
Bye, guys. Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
See you.